This is archipelago of my safety thoughts, presenting a video on learning scaffold safety for safety officers the professional way. This video is exclusively for training purposes. This forms part of a series of videos on occupational safety, health and environment. This is part 2, Foundation. As a safety officer, you are one of the luckiest employees in the industry. It is a fact that you had never even thought about it, have you? Where every other employee at a construction site or factory is restricted to move about their assigned work area only, you, a safety officer, is the blessed one who can move about freely and watch every activity going on anywhere at the site or industry in total. If you are inquisitive, you can watch and enrich your knowledge and skill to excel in your profession in time. For example, you had seen scaffold pipes used in a haphazard manner outside around your house by local contractors. You never had to bother about them. Now at work, you see scaffolds being erected systematically. Different kinds of scaffolds, different materials, different components, different types, and of course different heights. You can watch, form part of the crew as their safety officer, clarify doubts, and in limited time you can be an expert with scaffold. You can even gain confidence and attend test, that is scaffold test, add your credentials as a certified scaffold supervisor or even inspector. Think about it now. Are you supposed to remain a safety officer all through your service? I understand that your answer is no, a big no at that. You intend to grow with your specialization. There are opportunities waiting for you only if you equip yourself with the required all-round competency, knowledge, skills and tricks, and ability to show or communicate it where required. You are destined to win. Interested? Having begun to manage the role of safety officer at scaffolding work, you intend to pursue further and specialize with every aspect of building scaffolds. In scaffolding work, the first thing to do is familiarize with the terminology. Familiarize with foundation. Sole board. This is the first component in making a scaffold. Over that comes base plate. Now, there can be a sole board and a screw jack also. The similarity between the two are there is base plate attached to this. Base plate alone without screw jack can also be used. Screw jack with the base plate also can be used. In certain places, sole boards may not be used where it is. You keep in mind, you have to learn about it. Now one more thing is coming, that is caster wheel. So we have 3 items here. One is a sole board with base plate. Another one is a sole board with a screw jack, then a caster wheel. Without any one of this, you can never make a scaffold. Now, here is a lengthier one. In this one, we accommodate 2 base plates. The previous one, you have seen only 1. The principle is, wherever possible, the sole board should extend under at least 2 posts. There may be places where you cannot have a lengthy sole board. That is also to be understood. Few doubts for you to clear of your own if you can. Why should we use a base plate? Why we should use a sole board and a base plate? I will give you a clue. Can you step onto a nail, sharp nail? But the same types of nails, hundreds and hundreds, are there on a plank. Will you be able to stand on it? Of course, your answer is yes. Now compare. Can you have a pipe that is called a standard, a scaffold pipe, put onto the ground directly in a loose soil? If you put certain load onto the pipe, what will happen? Will it sink or not? Now, if you put a sole board over that a base plate, again, if you put a pipe, what will happen? You observe these things and learn yourself why a sole board and a base plate becomes essential in making a scaffold. Requirements common to all scaffolds. Now, you have sole boards. What should be the size? The minimum size of a scaffold sole board shall be 225 millimeters wide. The thickness can be 38 millimeters. As told earlier, a sole board can be extended for 2 posts where possible. If it is not possible, the size of the sole board should never be less than 765 millimeters. Steel base plate, as it is mentioned, it is steel. Steel base plate shall be at least 150 by 155 millimeters. Nowhere it says that it can be square only. You can make same size for a round one also. The thickness, minimum thickness required is 6 millimeters. For special scaffolds, the base plate shall be designed by a competent engineer. Screw jacks. The same base plate attached with the screw jack. The only special thing is the screw jack has a threaded portion. That threaded portion should not be opened more than 2/3 of its threaded length. Here you see an inadequate scaffold foundation. Inadequate support in danger of collapse. Poor housekeeping, unfit for scaffold direction. You see in 3 places here, you have the same type of mistakes committed. This is never permitted. It is not acceptable. Keep in mind. Flat concrete, that is very strong floor, level stone, load bearing brickwork, or similar good strong places, strong surfaces, you don't require a sole board. You don't require a sole board. It requires only a base plate. Base plate size is already mentioned, 150 by 150 mm. Now again, if it is not so strong like a rock, hard rock, or even stone, asphalt surfaces, paths, grass, ground, earth and made up pavements, slated or tiled roof, etc., which is not having sufficient strength to bear the weight and the load coming on the scaffold, you require the sole board. So over the sole board, you will be able to place the base plate. The base plate size was given. Now the sole board size is also given. You need not by heart it. By practice, you will be able to remember that. Now in certain places, it will not be that much strong. In this situation, you will be spiking the base plate to the sole board such that absolutely it will not move about. Now, your floor where you are going to construct a scaffold, it is very costly. It may be costly marble, mosaic, polished wood, carpets, linoleum. You don't want your floor to get spoiled. So better put a dust sheet. At least gunny bags, hardboards, whatever it is, we call it dust sheet pack. So over that the sole board can be placed and the base plate can be fixed. Now screw jacks will come attached with the base plate or without. Whatever may be the make of this, you can expect different types, different sizes. Only principle you have to remember is only 2/3 threads can be opened. Why you require a screw jack? Because of the level difference in the ground. So screw jack will be able to help us in adjusting the level for the first lift. This kind of slope is there. How you will adjust the sole board and base plate? The gap required is 225 mm free space plus the sole board space. This is essential. You cannot have a scaffold erected like this. Absolutely, you are not supposed to give permission for this. And no idiots will make scaffolds like this. Let us learn to make only safe scaffolds. First, prepare the ground. Where the ground is not level, as far as possible, try to make it level. Compact it where required. Clear the entire area. Prepare the ground over source. A sound base is essential, keep in mind. Examine the ground or floor on which we are to build our scaffold. Remember that sand or made up ground may require compacting. Make sure absolutely no cavities. Some floors, roofs may require supports or shoring from underneath. On foundation, what we have to remember, must be sound and rigid to carry 4 times the maximum intended load. What is the 4 times maximum intended load? How you will understand that one? The entire weight of the scaffold plus how many people will be coming over that, or how much load you will be putting on the scaffold. Everything can be calculated. You will be learning it in next videos. Allow no displacement. The scaffold once erected is not supposed to move at all. Ground surface must be level as far as possible. If mobile, casters must be locked. Casters means the wheels. Base plate required on all fixed scaffolds. That means sole boards are exempted in certain cases. Screw jacks required on uneven surfaces. Yes, without screw jacks, you will not be able to level the scaffold on uneven surfaces. Let us try this. A few questions. Scaffold frame legs must be supported by, you can answer, the choices are given here. A timber cell or sole board must have a minimum size. You learned it. A screw jack can be opened. Yes, how much? You know that. Scaffold frame legs must be supported by, you know that. Yes? Try. Normally, a timber sole board must accommodate at least, you are sure to answer. For you, a safety officer, ensure crew conducted a toolbox meeting before starting work. Anyway, preferably in your presence. Not essential, but it is preferred. The scaffolding area is barricaded and scaffold under erection signboards are provided. It is essential. Crew are using mandatory personal protective equipment. Without personal protective equipment, no scaffolders can work. Proper tools only they carry. Scaffolders require special tools. Availability of drinking water. Scaffolding is a hard work. They may have to drink water frequently. Supervisor is present. Without his presence, no scaffold can be erected. Proper housekeeping. That's the most important part of making scaffolds. Frequently visit the area and ensure work progresses smoothly. That is your safety officer's responsibility. Learning scaffold safety for safety officers the professional way. Next in the queue is terminology part 3. Need your comments. Before you run, please don't forget to subscribe also. Thank you. for your time in watching.